Well, many of you might be looking for advice on just how to talk to your kids about the events this week at the Boston Marathon. Our Julia Dunn asked a local child psychologist today about how parents can make their children, regardless of age, feel safe and secure following such a tragedy.
Child psychologist Dr. Virginia Corey says the most important thing that parents can do is open up a conversation with their kids, find out what they know, and answer their questions clearly in language they can understand.
So what do you do if your kids come home and they don't bring it up?
I think is very important for the parents to bring it up, because if you don't bring it up, the child has no place to go with their fears, no place to go with their worries.
She says children see their parents as role models and will pay attention to their reaction to tragedy.
It's okay to admit if you're scared or worried or that was upsetting to you, but you can also then show children how we deal with those types of things.
Some children are too young to have a back and forth conversation. In this case, there's other outlets. Playing or drawing are ways that children can also express themselves. Dr. Corey says with teens, it's important to remember this is the age when a lot of information that your child has is coming from friends or social media.
I'm not necessarily suggesting that you text or tweet your child, but it is kind of a humorous way to open up a dialogue with a kid that might otherwise be reluctant to talk.
One thing Dr. Corey says parents shouldn't do is to assume that their children don't know what's going on. They have access to the news, their friends are probably talking about it. What's more, they should be looking for warning signs.
If your child is becoming increasingly preoccupied with violent video games, becomes excessively irritable, withdrawn, has trouble concentrating, we need to be sensitive to the fact that that child may be suffering. We need to think about if this is a time at which we should seek extra help for mental health counseling for that child.
In Albany, Julia Dunn, CBS 6.
And Dr. Corey says whether it's the Boston Marathon bombings or the shootings in Newtown, Connecticut, this advice never changes with each episode of violence. She says that kids tend to personalize these tragedies, so it is important to be aware of that when you are talking about them with your kids.